Hey everybody, how is it going today? Well, in this video, I just want to do a quick update on my current thoughts on Tesoro Enterprises, as well as give you an update what I did on my current swing trade positions in case any of you guys are in any of those stocks. Plus, I see something interesting happening in the overall stock market, so stick around for that as well. If you're new to my channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading and investing opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. I like to find undervalued stocks with high growth potential and talk about all other things finance-related as well. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. All right, well, I have a few minutes, so I want to do a quick update video on Tesoro Enterprises, ticker symbol of TSNP. Right here we have the current daily chart, and as we can see, we are still below this 8-period exponential moving average, or the white line on the chart, and I thought for sure we'd be above that by now, but this downtrend has been absolutely brutal. I mean, unless you have concrete, rock-solid conviction in the long-term prospects of this company, your nerves are being tested right now because this is a long, brutal pullback. And if this stock does end up going higher, which I still think that it will, I just don't think it's technically broken. I think it's going to end up going higher, but this is what we call the shakeout period, and this has been a very tough one to be a part of because this stock has gone down from the mid 30-cent range for about 35, 36 cents all the way down to 11 cents where it is now. So that is a 60-70% haircut at the moment. You know, if we put on this Fibonacci line from the top all the way to where this started, we can see that it found support at the very last Fibonacci retracement area at the 23.6% area a few days ago. So this pullback is getting a little long in the tooth, and it should start to move higher if this is in fact a pullback. Hopefully it is not a fade where it just fades off into nothing. I think there are some very bullish signs happening right now in the chart. I mean, from a few days ago where it had this green bullish hammer, that is a typical reversal candle. So, and it hasn't broken that low yet. So that is a very good sign. Unfortunately, it is still it's just hanging below this 21-period exponential moving average. So it needs to get above that, but it looks like it'll only take one halfway decent day to get above that and the 8-period exponential moving average. So it could be potentially starting a new uptrend if it can do that. Now let's go to the intraday chart. Let's go to the 15-minute chart and take a closer look at that bullish hammer candle. If I back this thing all the way up, we can see the red volume spikes that accompanied the moves down. But in this green hammer reversal day, where it had that V bottom, we saw the green volume, the big green volume bars start to move in, and it hasn't broken this low yet. So unfortunately, it did roll over from my previous video and make a newer low, but it is holding this one. So I'm feeling, I wouldn't say confident, but I am optimistic that it can hold this low and start to move into higher ground. You know, if we back out of this chart just a little bit and keep it on the 15-minute chart, we can see that it is also making a bullish falling wedge pattern, and it looks like it has broken out of it. It looks like it broke out of it and did the touch. Now all we need is a move up above 15 cents, and hopefully it can start a new uptrend. But like I said before, if you guys have been in this stock since probably the mid-20s to the 30-cent range, this has been an absolutely brutal pullback to be a part of. But in some of these stocks, like when you have that super deep pullback, I mean, that is meant to shake you out of your shares. And this one has been very tough to still be holding on to. Like I said, unless you have concrete long-term conviction in this company, this has been very tough to be a part of. I didn't think this pullback was going to last this long or be this deep. I thought for sure it would have been moving into a new high by now, but unfortunately that has not been the case. But I am optimistic with these last 3 days that it has made that bullish hammer and it has not broken to a new low, and the range is starting to tighten up. So I think it's going to be a very interesting week this week, and this week I think is going to be a very important week. If it can't get above this 8-period exponential moving average this next week. I know this next week is going to be a shortened trading week because of the Christmas holiday, and there's going to be light volume. So it is going to be tough to get a lot of information from this next trading week. But if it can't get above that 8-period exponential moving average next week, I think that is a very bad sign for Tesoro Enterprises for the long term. So we're getting into the nerve-wracking part of this chart, and next week is going to be very interesting, and I'll try to do an update video next week. I'm still on vacation, but I'm going to try to do an update video next week and go over next week's chart information and see if we can extrapolate what the next move might be. But that is my current thoughts on Tesoro Enterprises at the moment. All right, right now I'm going to do a quick update on some of my current swing trades. Then I want to get into something that I see happening in the overall market, so stay tuned for that. But first, I just want to go over my current swing positions because I ended up closing out most of them this week because I'm not going to be around for the next week or so, and I just wanted to close out most of my positions and start fresh after the vacation. But I had sold out the second part of this position at $3.44 when it hit this resistance area a few days ago. It did hit that resistance and reversed, but it turned right back around, and it's actually higher right now. So it looks like Energy Fuels could still have some legs left in it, but I am completely out of this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one just keeps going up. Let me check RPTX. I did sell this one at just over $39 a few days ago because it was having a hard time getting over 40, so I figured I would just close out the position anyway, and as we can see, it had a big reversal. Right now it's trading at $3.34, so at the moment that looks like a good sell, but this one could turn around anytime and head back up over 40. But from a technical perspective, a few days ago, it was still looking good. I just decided I was going to start closing out some of these positions because I wasn't going to be around. But I am out of RPTX. The next one that I was in was RAVE Restaurant Group. I ended up selling this one just on a Friday, and I was in this one for about 96 cents, and I sold it at 87 cents, so it was a fractional loss. It wasn't that big of a deal. And the other one that I was holding was IGC. And IGC, I ended up selling this one at about $1.74. And at the end of the day, let me go intraday. At the end of the day, some big volume moved into this one. So this one might be blasting off of this support area that I had been holding on to because I didn't want to sell it until it broke that support area, and it was holding it. But I wasn't going to be able to be looking at the market much for these next couple of weeks. So I figured I would just close it, but this might be starting a new uptrend. So if I go back to that 15-minute, you can see that huge volume that came in right at the end of the day and pushed it up. So I might be regretting selling this one. And my last position was the only swing trade that I decided to hold on to just because the chart looks so bullish, was AUMN Golden Materials Company. I'm in this one for 56 cents. But it had a big move off of this 21-period exponential moving average, and it was heading into higher ground. So I figured this was a small position anyway, so I figured I would just take my chances and hold on to AUMN, put a stop in below 50 cents, and it stops me out. It stops me out. If it keeps going, that would be even better. But though that is just an update on my current swing trades. I closed out most of them. This was the only one that I'm going to be holding on to. So if any of you guys were holding these stocks and was wondering what I was doing, I did end up closing out most of them, but basically just because I wasn't going to be around. But if you guys are still in IGC, I wouldn't be surprised if that keeps going up, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one keeps going up. In fact, I hope it does because I am still in it. But let's get over to the market averages now. All right, well, before I get out of here, I do want to take a look at the market averages. Right here we have the spiders, ticker symbol SPY, and this just follows the S&P 500. This is the S&P 500 ETF, in case you're unaware. But if we zoom in a little closer, we can see that it broke below the 8-period exponential moving average on Friday, but it closed above it. And if we go intraday, we can see it had that huge move at the end of the day, accompanied by big volume. This probably had something to do with Tesla being included in the S&P 500, I would imagine. But right now, it looks like it is starting to get a little weak because it just broke out to a new high the day before and it has fallen right back into this consolidation. As you can see, it took several days for it to even make that new high. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days to go up just to that very, very minuscule new high before it turned right back around. So that is a very weak sign. If we go to the weekly chart on the spider, we can see for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row, it held above this 8-period exponential moving average, but it held high above it. And one thing that I want to point out is when that happens, that usually means a reversal is right around the corner. It doesn't have to be necessarily a really sharp one. You know, if we go back to June and July, we can see how many weeks that it held above it. Without coming down to touch it. I think when it's not touching that 8-period exponential moving average on the weekly chart, the move is getting a little long in the tooth, a little extended, and then you can have that reversal happening anytime. Like usually when I have about 6 or 7 days or more, or weeks or more in a row without touching that line, I usually look for a pullback. Right now, like I said, we have 6 in a row. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I'm expecting the market to continue to rally into the first of the year. So it wouldn't surprise me if this happens after the first of the year, but I would expect probably a small correction. I wouldn't expect it to be a major top or anything huge that happened like in March, but I would expect one of these type of pullbacks like we had in September and into the end of October. So, after the first of the year, I'm going to be looking for that pullback. I'm going to raise a little bit of cash and see if I can find some bargains when that pullback does happen. But if I jump over to the Qs, we can see that that tends to happen on the Qs. You know, when it comes down and it touches this 8-period exponential moving average, it usually means it's digested enough of price to keep going. But when it stays too many weeks without touching it, that is when you usually get a decent pullback for 3 to 5 weeks, well, probably 2 to 5 weeks in a row, and those are usually good buying opportunities. So I have been raising just a little bit of cash, kind of lying in wait, and hopefully the market will continue to move higher until I am done with vacation. And then when I get back, you know, after the first of the year, there'll be some bargains waiting for me. But I did want to point that out to you guys. Let's look at the diamonds real quick before I get out of here. And you can see the diamonds is doing the same exact thing. You know, we've got 6 weeks in a row where it's held above that 8-period exponential moving average without touching it. So I would expect, you know, just like we got a little long in the tooth here, to have 2 to 4 or maybe even 5 weeks of pulling back. I am not anticipating it is going to be a deep pullback, but that is what I am looking for at the moment. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys if you guys are wondering how the overall market is doing. All right, everybody, that is all I have for you today. If you have any questions or comments on these charts or any of these companies, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. And until next time, take care, everybody.